before you summon on Kafka's banner, it's going to be important to also know about the new 4-star coming out with her, which is Luca. Now, Luca's going to be a physical character on the Path of Nihility as well. He's also going to have a DOT focus, and in the video here, I'm going to go over his skill, ultimate, all that fun stuff about his kit to let you all know about how well he's going to work with Kafka, and spoiler alert, he's going to work extremely well with her. So, getting into what Luca does here. So his normal attack is just a standard normal attack. He deals physical damage to a single enemy. Then his skill will deal physical damage to a single enemy. And in addition, this attack has a 100% base chance to inflict bleed on them, which is the physical DOT, which will last for 3 turns. And while bleeding the enemy at the start of every enemy turn, they'll take a % of their max HP as physical DOT. And the damage from that also can't exceed more than a percentage of Luca's attack, which will scale with the skill's trace level. So this is going to be really good because Luca is going to be able to inflict a new type of DOT for the Kafka team. I shouldn't say new because there are characters that can inflict bleed, but Luca's going to be able to do it very consistently compared to other physical characters. And so you're definitely going to want to build his attack as well. Not just because his damage scales off of it, but because of the DOT as well. Then, we're going to get to his ultimate, which gives him 2 stacks of Fighting Will, which we'll talk about in a second, and also a 100% base chance to increase a single enemy target's damage received by 12% for 3 turns. So, this is going to allow for, all damage received by this enemy to just increase, which is really good because when you're running, if you're running a team with Kafka and Sampo, which I definitely think is probably going to be the best DOT team comp, you're going to have, Kafka's Shock, you're going to have Sampo's Wind Shear, and you're going to have Luca's Bleed. So increasing the damage of those, and then having Kafka detonate those the DOTs from herself, Sampo, and Luca, that's going to be really good. So Luca increasing damage from for a single target, plus then Sampo's ultimate also increases damage specifically for Wind Shear, and actually no, that's for all, and then also the Fermata Light Cone increasing for Wind Shear and Shock. There's just going to be a lot of DOT damage coming because everyone's going to be boosting damage. Kafka can detonate the DOT, so it's not just at the start of enemy turns, so this comp's going to be really good. But in addition to that, Luca's ultimate will also deal physical damage to a single target, which is the same target as it would be inflicted with the damage received increase. So yeah, that's going to be really helpful for this DOT comp for sure. Now to move on to Luca's talent. So for his talent, after he uses his basic attack or skill, he receives 1 stack of Fighting Will with a max of 4. So when he has 2 or more stacks of Fighting Will, his basic attack will become enhanced, and his enhanced basic attack, whenever it hits a bleeding enemy target, the target will be immediately dealt bleed damage for 1 time equal to a smaller % of the bleed damage. And at the start of battle, he will have 1 stack of Fighting Will. Now, for some reason, it doesn't show what his basic attack does here. I mean, not his basic attack, but his enhanced basic attack. So, just to mention that really quickly, whenever you use the enhanced basic attack, it'll consume 2 stacks of the Fighting Will to deliver. It'll basically be 3 instances of his normal attack, the Direct Punch, and then 1 instance of Lacerating Fist, all in one. It's kind of like a combo attack of sorts, and that's going to. I think the damage for the Direct Punch is smaller, but it's smaller per hit. But because you're getting 3 hits of it, it is going to end up doing more damage. And then, you get the 1 hit of the skill as well. And it has the same sort of properties of the Lacerating Fist skill, which will definitely be pretty cool to have that all in the enhanced basic attack. And I'll just, consume the stacks, and the stacks are pretty easy to get back to. So I do think that's a win-win regardless. Then we get to Luca's technique. So his technique will immediately attack the enemy, and upon entering battle, he'll deal physical damage to a random single enemy with a 100% base chance to inflict his skill's bleed effect on the target, and he gets an extra stack of Fighting Will. So this is a good technique because just by using it and getting the bleed on one enemy, you'll already have the basic attack to be enhanced at turn 1, which can be really good to just get some extra bleed. You'll get bleed on another character and just improve Luca's damage from there. And with Luca's damage being better, that's going to improve the entire team, because the entire team's going to be based around getting all that DOT off. And then finally, we're going to go over Luca's major traces. I do think the major traces are important. So the first major trace at Ascension level 2, when the skill is used, immediately dispel one buff from the enemy target. So he can dispel buffs, which is very good. Yeah, this is something that Pela is able to do, which is pretty useful. Enemies that try to increase their stats and buff themselves up, you have a way to deal with that now with the skill. Then his second major trace, which is at Ascension 4, for every stack of Fighting Will obtained, additionally regenerates 3 energy. So yeah, that'll just help him get his ultimate back faster, which is definitely going to be nice if you're holding on to those stacks of Fighting Will, because the only way to lose stacks is through the enhanced basic attack. Then for Ascension 6, his final major trace, when he uses the enhanced basic attack, every hit of Direct Punch, which are the first 3 hits of the 4-hit combo, they have a 50% fixed chance for Luca to use 1 additional hit. And this effect does not apply to the additional hits generated in this way. So basically, you have a 50% chance for each of those 3 hits for it to do a second hit. So what that means is, if you get lucky and you get all 3 50/50s, you can do 6 direct punches into the skill for the enhanced basic attack combo, which I think is really good. Yeah, because at first I wasn't really, thinking of getting him to like that last ascension right away, but upon seeing what this last trace does, I think I'm gonna have to go for that, because I feel like that's gonna help his damage out a lot, because it's basically just like, in the best scenario, doubling your damage. So that is definitely something I think is worth considering. But yeah, with that, it looks like his minor traces are mostly a lot of effect hit rate and attack, which is very good for him. There's a little bit of defense here and there too, which is fine, but yeah, boosting his attack and effect hit rate is going to be very good to improve the chances of getting the bleed off and just having more attacks so you can do more damage. But yeah, that is that's about Luca. And yeah, I do think here, I actually have not looked at his Eidolon, so let me actually take a look at those. So real quick here, so E1, when he attacks a bleeding enemy, Luca's damage dealt increases by 15% for 2 turns, so that's just a nice damage boost for him. E2, if a skill hits an enemy with a physical weakness, he gets an extra stack of Fighting Will, so more chances to get that enhanced basic attack, which is great. I'll skip over Eidolon 3 and 5, just because they're just trace level boosts. E4, for every stack of Fighting Will obtained, increase attack by 5%, stacking up to 4 times. That's really good. So, keeping stacking up your Fighting Wills all the way to 4, and then letting out a lot of really good damage. And then E6, when the enhanced basic attack hits a bleeding enemy target, every direct punch used by this enhanced attack will cause the target to be immediately dealt damage equal to the original bleed damage. Damage. Okay, I think they just mistyped it here. I think it's 8% of the original bleed damage, so just extra damage on his enhanced basic attack as well to bleeding enemies, which is really nice. But yeah, that is everything about Luca. Yeah, I think, if you're summoning for Kafka, if you want to use that DOT team, you're more than likely going to pull him and Sampo, and I think they are both amazing partners for Kafka. But with that, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed and you haven't already, definitely be sure to hit the like button, comment, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. I'm going to be covering Kafka pretty much for the next week or so. So definitely be excited about that. But for now, I will see you all next time.